Okay. So our next assembly is all the magenta pieces, so let's put this aside. Here we have our magenta pieces. There they are. Let's reference our instructions. So in E it says, attach number 2 to number 1, then fold and glue number 1, one flap at a time. All right, so 1 to 2. So that's very simple. It just goes like this. Just like that. And then it folds in, and I'll show you how that works. So let's do that. Let's put these other ones aside for now. Just going to be tackling this guy. Okay, so before we glue that, let's just make sure these folds here, score lines are bent. Just be careful; it's a little thin here. Okay, just going to be bending down all of these. Great. And then bend this down. And then this last one will bend down as well. This little flap. This will glue down, and then this will bend down. Okay. So now that we've got that flap in there, we're going to actually glue it so that it comes down like this. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's where we should be. Okay, so let's do this next flap here. Now don't worry about bending these little triangles. Let's keep those the way they are. Okay. Put a little pressure on the back. Just make sure that's glued right. Great. Do the next one. And let's go ahead and do this one too. All right, that brings us to a completion of this assembly. Let's go to number 3. All right, here's number 3. This is a fairly quick one. So let's go ahead and start with bending these flaps down. There we go. So it should look something like this. And so we're going to be assembling a box this time around. So the first thing we're going to do is this fold. Okay, so this top portion, we can do it all at once because it needs to be even all across. It's kind of hard to do one at a time because we'll be bending the top. We want to keep that top fairly flat. So there we go, all flaps all at once. Okay, we just slot that in. Make sure we slot the other side. There we go. So got a little glue on my fingers, wasn't too bad. and then just press it together. There we go. Got a little box. Okay, so before we do the part number 4, we'll glue number 3 in here, and we want to align it right to the edge, right there, so you can kind of see edge of the gap. All right. Done. Let's put that aside. Okay, moving on to step number 4. Or piece number 4. Let's bend these pieces down. Okay. So this top fold, you can just leave that straight. And then let's give these all a 90-degree fold. Okay, great. So I'm going to start with gluing the ramp on the back here. I'm going to glue these down. Just like that. There we go. Oh. Okay. Great. All right, so let's take, now that you've got the little ramp there, we're going to take our 2 pieces and we'll get them glued together. So what we want to do is put some glue right here on the bottom flap. Let's fold these in. On second thought, I folded that the wrong way. So I'm going to fold those as a valley. So you can fold the opposite way. Like that. Okay. And let's put a little glue. Whoa. Put a little glue on that. On both these flaps. Just like that. All right, so you got 3 flaps. We're gonna glue it all at the same time. Let's throw a little more glue on there. Okay, this time I'm gonna do it this way. So let me flip this around. Let's fold that back just like that. Okay, this is actually better. Just like this. Grab your tweezers, and what we'll do is press down on that flap. Down there. Okay, so now that flap right there is glued in. There we go. Okay, so now these two flaps are on the inside. I can attempt to press those. I think the best way to do that is by holding my finger on the inside like this. So I've got my thumb on this side, my finger on the inside there, and I'm just holding that, pressing that. Okay, so let's do that on the other side. We have to put a little more glue on there. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that that's kind of in there like this, so that when we lift it, it's on the inside of that rail. There we go. So now I've got that flap there. Okay, let's talk about where we're gluing this. I want to glue along these flaps. Okay. So if you're like me and you've been using this since the beginning, this glue since the beginning of the project, you're going to start experiencing some difficulties extruding that glue out of there, and that's because you've gotten to sort of the end. What you can do is, if you're using this glue, just put the cap back on and then twist it just a little bit more, and what that does, it puts a little more pressure on there, and the glue will come out so much faster. And if it doesn't, like it's not now, I'll just twist it a little bit more. There we go. That's better. And then we got to put some glue right there on the top. Okay, I'm running out of glue on that one. Just going to abandon that and use my other one. That's why you have a couple of these on one project, because they don't last the entire. Okay. And then on these little triangles here, put a little bit. Alright, now that you got glue all in those places, let's push it down and attach the whole thing. So I'm going to make sure that these corners are kind of critical for the aesthetics of it. And just make sure those look nice and clean. Once I have that, I can press the middle. We know that's going to glue really well. And then if all the rest of the sides feel fairly solid, then we can press the outside in. Okay. We just do one at a time. Give it a little rub, heats it up, helps the glue to attach. Okay, there's our base. Set that aside. Okay, next step is F. We need our white pieces, our yellow teeth, and our cardboard for that. So let's grab that. As well as our vellum. And our blue little circles for the eyes. And our cardboard. I'll grab that in a minute. Let's do the white pieces first. Okay, so here we got this guy. Just want to fold along there, and this is going to come down. There's a valley fold, it's this one here. That's going to fold out like that. And then, so that creates the step. This is the steps to the mouth. Let's fold all of our flaps down. Okay. So it's gonna go just like that. Let's grab some glue. Alright, tweezers are going to be really helpful with these stairs. Alright, there's some stairs. Next piece. Okay, we just want to fold these, bend these flaps down. Each one is a just regular bend down. Okay, so let's start with these. Alright, we got 3 flaps left. So what I'm going to do with this is glue them all at the same time. Just want to make sure that that flap folds in far enough so when I bend this down, I get some nice seams. There. Just to make sure that glue on my finger is dry before I press this together. Okay, so now that they're all in, we can kind of press the edges. Try to get those to line up as well as possible. There we go. Okay, so that's the chin. Before we put those teeth on, we're gonna want to make sure that the chin is glued correctly to the assembly. There we go. So you don't want to have this upside down, because if it's upside down, then it doesn't work. See, kind of show you that. Yeah, you want to make sure that that's the right way. Just like that. Okay. Let's get the glue on the sort of outside rim. Get to that point with this one where it's starting to be empty as well. Just twist that a little bit more. There we go. That's better. All right. So I'm pushing these together fairly hard. I want to make sure that they have a nice snug fit and the seam is minimal. So when I release, I can see a little bit of a seam on this side. Not super excited about that, to be honest. So the way we're going to fix that is, let's get our toothpick. Let's grab some glue. Like that. We're just going to separate this just enough that I can fit the toothpick in and slide that glue through there. There we go. I'll grab the other end of the toothpick and just kind of wipe that excess away. There we go. That's much better. So I don't like to glue the steps, and the reason for that is because I want the option to show Skelly without the steps. But if you guys don't care and you decide to glue them, then that's really up to you. But that's how the steps go. Here are our fun teeth. We just want to glue teeth down. Well, let's look at the front picture. You can see that one matches the left side. So let's get some glue on that. I like to set it in just a little bit so there's a little bit of a space. And then with your tweezers you can press down on that. There we go. Let's do the other one. Oh, that popped. So there's our base. That's feeling really sturdy and strong, so I like that. It's a good sign. Okay, so in F, you'll see we need to measure a 3 by 7/16 by 3/4 strip from the cardboard. Let's do that. So what you're going to need is your ruler. Probably going to need a pen or a marker, pencil of some kind. Let's grab that. So you can see there are 16 notches in an inch. We want 7 of those plus 3 inches. So let's see, 3, 6, 7, and a 3/4 inch this way. So I'll measure that twice since I've got long enough ruler here. I can 3 and 7 16th. And then I can align my ruler, draw that edge all the way down. Just like that. And then we'll take your hobby knife and grab your ruler again. And we want to cut right along that. So I like to hold it really firm and then just, it's going to take a few passes before that cardboard separates. Patience is a virtue here. There. Put that rest of it aside. And we need 3/4 inch. Again. Gonna measure that again. On both sides. Try to be as accurate as you can. It will help. You'll see in just a minute. All right. There we go. All right, so I have a strip of cardboard to the measurements indicated. And so the point of this cardboard is, I don't know if you noticed, but this slot in the base is a little bit more narrow than the one in the bottom. That's because we're going to be inserting a cardboard right into that. So we want to just test the length of our cardboard, and what I've noticed already is my length is too long. So I've got a problem there. I need to adjust this length down. So let's just cut off the top of that. Okay, I'll just eyeball that one. That's okay. There, that fits a lot better. Okay, and the width is really good. It's good. All right, so let's trim this off our larger strip here. So it's about a 1/4 inch that I need to trim off. There we go. So at this point, it's okay if you want to use some scissors. I've got some really nice hobby scissors, fairly sharp scissors that I can use. I'll pull those out. If not, you can just use your knife and cut each strip, but it's a little quicker if you've got some nice scissors like this. Or any scissors will probably work. It's just cardboard, so it's a little more difficult. So to help me in cutting that, I think I'm going to score this, or not score it, but I'm going to scribe a template so that I get the right width every time. This pen is dying on me. Alright, this time I'm going to use a blue Sharpie. That'll work. So you want to do probably 5 or 6 of these. It really just depends on your phone, what model you have and how tall it is. The length and height is the critical dimension for fitting into the paper craft. So I'll illustrate that in a minute. Let's cut these out. Here, and then we'll stack all of these. Alright, so I'm kind of tired of struggling with this glue here. So I'll show you what I do. I got some channel locks here that's going to squeeze this glue out whether it likes it or not. There we go. Let's test it. All right, so it's resisting just a little bit. I'm not surprised. That sort of happened to me first time I tried this. Let's get that out of there. Okay, so to trim this, I'm going to take our hobby knife and just whittle it out. If you're doing this, be careful always to cut away from you. So there's just a few highs, like ridges on this, and hitting it a couple times like this with your X-Acto blade is going to help this work so much better. This also works. Okay. That should do it. Okay, so the high side is toward the back, and when you slide that in there, it should pop right in, just like that. There we go. Oh. So that many pieces of cardboard will actually create a flush, really nice flush gap there. So then you can place your phone right there, and it won't wiggle or anything. It'll just be like. Now, if you've got a taller phone than me, this is a iPhone 11 Max. If you got like a Note or the new iPhone 12, then it's going to be taller. So what you'll do is you push this back out. Oh. And you can peel one of these off. You can just pull it right off, just like that. So I'm not going to do that because I need this many for my phone. All right, so let's set that aside. I think we're going to do the vellum with the eyes last because we need to target where we want those. Let's put that aside. I'm going to clean off my workspace for a second here. I got a lot of cardboard shavings. Okay, so the first thing we're going to glue is the body to the base. It's going to go just like that. And you can see how that aligns down there on the slot. So let's grab our glue. And I'm going to need a little extra power on this. A little extra twist. Okay, so I like to just make sure that that's aligned first before I set it down, just because I don't want to see any of that pink magenta. I want to see that pink magenta right there on the seam. So before you push it really hard down, just check the back. See that's aligned there in the center. There. That feels really nice and sturdy. Okay, now let's do the face. Let's get some glue on the top here. Whoa, that came out way faster than I thought it would. Spread that out. I'm just kind of gonna make sure we get a nice coverage there. Okay, so this part is going to be a little tricky because it's got a slot underneath here. So what we want to do is actually, I'll show you guys. We need to fit the, so you want to pull this apart just a little bit. You fit the eyes in the gap. That's the first thing. Okay, and then we got to fit the, so now that I got the eyes in the gap, I can push this forward and let that settle back there. Okay, and now the most important thing is making sure that these align. So we're just going to make sure that visibly aligns as best as you can. That looks pretty good to me. Like these edges here are aligning really well. So now that I've got all that, I can just press that down. Okay, and to be sure that, where are my tweezers? So right above the eyes, I'll slot my tweezers in and press those together. And that should do it. Nice solid construction. Wonderful. Okay, now let's test to see where we want our vellum to go. You don't want this in here, so take this out. Make sure this is out. Grab your vellum strip and slot that down. Okay, so there it is there. And with just a pencil, if I get a pencil here. Okay, with just a pencil, I'm going to spot where I want the eyes. Try to keep in mind that, you want the eyes to be in a position that someone will view this from. Like if you're going to put it down low, then try to look at it from that angle. If you're going to put it up high, then try to look at it from that angle, because there's a parallax that happens where these pupils go. If they're up too high and you're looking down at it, it'll look kind of strange. So I'm going to place this one here, and I'm just going to mark it kind of where I want it, and then the other one is right there. Alright, so I'll pull that out, and you can see I've got some really light marks where I want those eyes to go. Let's grab a little bit of glue on the back of that. Okay, and a little bit of glue on the back of this. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. That looks pretty good. So the vellum is nice because if you got a battery operated candle, you stick that right there, and then you put the vellum in the front, and that will diffuse the light. So that's how you turn Skelly into a luminary. Alright, let's fit the hat on him. So the vellum will slot right into the slot in the hat. And then let's put the steps there. And there you have a finished Skelly paper craft. Pretty cool. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, following along with the step-by-step instructions, and I hope it went well for you and you enjoyed putting together this paper craft. It's been a pleasure for me, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Well, that's going to be about it for me today. Thanks so much for following along. I hope you guys enjoy.